Good afternoon, this is Brian. Today is Sunday, May 30th, 2021. I'm in the San Bernardino National Forest near Barton Flats, in the San Bernardino mountain range. Not that far from Angeles Oaks, south of Big Bear Lake. I'm at an elevation about 6,200 feet, give or take. Just a little bit above 6,000 feet. And today, I wanted to present a spotlight on trees. Today, my spotlight focuses on the Black Cottonwood, Populus trichocarpa. Black Cottonwood is a winter-deciduous tree, meaning it sheds its leaves in fall, it's leafless in winter, and puts new leaves in the springtime. It is a member of the Willow Family, the Salicaceae, and it is quite an interesting tree, and it's pretty widespread here in the western states, including here in Southern California. I wouldn't say I see it in high abundance, but when I do see it, it's always a special treat for me. Black Cottonwood can be extremely variable in size and shape. A lot of the trees along here were along the Santa Ana River in the San Bernardino Mountains, or the upper portion of it, and most of the trees here are fairly small to medium sized. You can see some maybe about 30 or 40 feet tall. Right next to these white firs there are a couple of cottonwoods. These ones are relatively small trees. These ones are probably about 25-30 feet tall. However, black cottonwood can also become one of the very largest western hardwood trees. These trees have been able to get over 150 feet tall, more likely in the Pacific Northwest. But Black cottonwood is one of a few species of poplar. Yes, it is a poplar. Like the aspen, cottonwood, poplar, they're all in the genus Populus. So it's a type of a poplar, and it used to be known as Populus balsamifera subspecies trichocarpa. It used to be listed as a subspecies of balsam poplar, which is found further up north. It's very similar, quite similar looking, with these often relatively narrow leaves, but the leaves can get wider and become more cordate, well, or triangular shaped. These ones are relatively narrow, and there's a potential conflict of taxonomy that I might go into. I'm believing I'm going to make this a two-part video, because there's a lot I need to talk about with black cottonwood. So here's the black cottonwood leaf right here. Again, usually a little bit more narrow than your other species of poplar, but they can get quite broad. I've seen black cottonwood leaves that are broader and more typical poplar shape, but they also are quite often like this as well. So Populus trichocarpa, very numerous, and it's like a lot of members of the Willow family. Black cottonwoods are colony forming, especially the poplars, the genus Populus. Trees' roots are very extensive. The root systems go on for quite a bit, and I'm almost certain that this is all part of one clonal system here of black cottonwood. I'm pretty certain that this is probably all from one major root system. So like a lot of members of the Salicaceae family, the Willow family, they love to grow on floodplains, along creeks and rivers, and other sources of water. Like I said, this is the Santa Ana River right here, and a lot of its relatives are growing here, and these are all Salicaceae. all willows in the genus Salix. So black cottonwood can be, like I said, it can be quite extensive. Like a lot of poplars, it can form thickets that go on and on and on for potentially an indeterminate amount of distance. So I'm trying to find some more specimens along here. This will definitely be a two-part episode because there are some specimens further down near Highway 38. This is the South Fork Campground. This is the South Fork Campground near Barton Flats in Angeles Oaks. So there's not a lot of good river flow this year because we're in a drought, but there's still a fair amount of water along here, so these plants should be able to persist. So I'm trying to look for another colony of black cottonwood because there tends to be some variation in the populations here. There's some more coming up over this way. Here's the South Fork Campground. Alright. Here we go. Here's some more cottonwoods. We got another colony here. And again, the leaves on these ones are relatively small and narrow compared to your typical ones, or could be typical for this area. See, sorry that there was a big interlude between specimens, but black cottonwood's got deep, ridged, and furrowed bark, kind of a grayish color. Not too dissimilar to Populus fremontii, the Fremont Cottonwood. See, this one has a little bit broader leaves that are kind of cordate. You can see they're kind of notched here towards the petiole or the leaf stalk. So you can see here that these leaves can get broader, so there's quite a bit of variability in Populus trichocarpa. Now we're hiking through a small colony of them here. Pretty sure that these are all coming from the same roots. They are known to sucker. That's one of the terms used for plants that send up shoots from the base. It's called suckering. Like, here you go. Got this one individual, and then these are suckers from its roots. So this is the main trunk. However, this might also be from a sucker from the greater population. This could be another one of several from the same root system, potentially. Wouldn't be surprised. This one came from this one's own portion of the roots, apparently. So, like I said, they can be sometimes confused with other cottonwood species like Populus fremontii, and out here subspecies fremontii. However, the leaves on Populus fremontii are much more noticeably toothed. There is a potential to maybe confuse younger ones with Quaking Aspen, Populus tremuloides, because they are quite similar in appearance. So a branching pattern, quite upright when they're young, but if you look at the the bark, even the younger bark, is grayer than the quaking aspen. So that's how you can tell when there are no leaves on it. That's how you can tell you're definitely not looking at a quaking aspen. And here's another root shoot right here, and this one has much narrower leaves. So like I said, lots of variation in a population of these plants. Now if you come here, just watch where you walk. Notice we got some nettles around here, urtica. It's like Urtica dioica holoseraceae, the hoary nettle. Just watch out, especially if you're wearing shorts or something. Me, I never wear shorts when I go out hiking. Hey, here's some more cottonwoods over here. Those ones are starting to grow a little more upright and a little taller, and with a broader leaf shape. So probably the main thing to take out of this video: lots of variability in populations of this plant. Okay, so the flowers of a black cottonwood are these elongated catkins. I don't know if there are any leftover ones left. This potentially not. It's a little elongated catkin, and it flowers as the leaves are opening up. The flowers come out, and then the fruit are the little seed capsules that come along in those elongated catkins on female trees, because these are dioecious. Dioecious meaning male and female plants are separate, or male flowers are on separate plants from female flowers and fruit. So I wouldn't be surprised if this whole area is all one. This whole area is one colony. I'm not sure if these are male or female, because I don't see any catkins, any old dried catkins on them. And you would need both a male and female to have a female produce the seed capsules, the little seed capsules. And then again, see, more broad, or moderately broad, narrow. And here we come. Very narrow. So what that means is this is a transition between videos. So I'm going to leave off on part 1 with the idea of the variable leaf shape of Populus trichocarpa, and in video number 2 I'm going to go more in depth with these specific narrow leaf cottonwoods here with the narrow leaves. I'm going to go in more detail about these in video clip number 2. So stay tuned for clip number 2, and we'll go more in depth into the confusion that this version causes among botanists here in the West. See you in part 2.